Hello everyone, I am Komal Mehta, teaching as an assistant professor in computer science department at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. Today, in the series of structured analysis, we will cover about the pros and cons of each tool. That means there are so many other tools in a structured analysis. What are the meaning of a structured analysis, and the tools covered in a structured analysis is already covered in my previous videos. So there are some pros and cons of each tool. That's why another tools will be created. For example, DFT, decision table, decision tree, structured English, flowchart, and Gantt chart. All these tools have some pros as well as cons. So in last video, I assigned you an activity for doing this to find out each and every tool have pros and cons. So what are these ones? Let's discuss now what are these. Next is a feasibility study. What do you mean by feasibility? To create any system, that means in the existing one there are some problems the user will face, and that problems will be overcome in the new one. So what are the meaning of a feasibility study, why we will create this one, and there are some other types of a feasibility. So what are these one will be discussed in this particular video. So let's start with pros and cons of the each tool. Initially, we will discuss about the DFT, data flow diagram. It is the ability to represent data flow. It may be used at a higher or a lower level of analysis and providing a good system documentation, because that helps in representing the module in a different manner. But the problem is that the input and output will be represented in similar manner. That is, in a rectangular shape, we will representing the input as well as output. So it may be uh, difficult to identify whether that particular part is an input or an output. So at initial position, that makes a create a confusion. That's why DFD has some cons, that is the identification of input as well as output. Next is a data dictionary. In data dictionary, that helps in or simplifies in analyzing the structure of a meeting the data requirements of a system. It may be at a higher or lower level of analysis, but does not provide any functional detail. That means it will explain the basic concept in a technical form. In non-technical form, it will not describe anything, or we can say it does not tell us the actual functioning detail what the particular module will do. So non technical person will not get the information any from the data dictionary. So this is prescribed only for the technical person. Next is a structured English. In structured English, when a problem requires a sequence of actions with the decision, then it will be the appropriate one. But if the sequence does not matter or randomly we have to do some task, then this will not the appropriate options. Why so? Because it will deal with the keywords, that is, if this particular condition will satisfy, then the process will be done. Else the particular condition will be satisfied, then this procedure will be done. So all these are done within the sequence or a manner, we can say, that depends on the previous one. But if randomly we have to do any task, then structured English does not help at all. So this is the problem in a structured English. In decision tree, we have to verify the logics and the problems that involves a few complex decision. That means for the limited number of actions. If we have a large number of decisions taken, then we can't identify with the help of decision tree, because in decision tree we create limited nodes that act as a leaf node or a decision node. We can't create any number of nodes and identifying the condition or a logic is applicable or a not, because the every node we have to verify is too much time taking, we can say. So this is not possible to create a decision tree for all the possible situations or a conditions that helps in a decision. That's why this will act for a few complex decision, not for the large system. Next is a decision table. The actual overcome in a of a decision tree will be done in a decision table because it completely deals with the complex branching routine in which we have to create all the possible conditions of a system, whether this will be the smaller one or a larger one. That means the effect of that particular condition is a little bit or affect completely on a system. The all conditions will be checked and the conditions as well as the outcome will be reflected in a single table, because decision table is split it out into two parts, that is stub as well as entry. In stub all conditions will be checked, and in entry what is the outcome of that particular condition will be checked over here. So this will be done with the help of decision table, or we can say it is the best example of a or a tool of structured analysis. Now the main or major contribution of structured analysis to the system development life cycle is to producing the definable and measurable document. That means to identify the specification of a system, we have to focus on a structured analysis because it deals with the actual requirement of a user or a client that must be satisfied. Next is it includes the user involvement, improved communication between user and designer that helps in reduction of a total time in implementation, because the actual process will be done earlier in comparison of the implementation. Once the process will be ready, the requirement will be satisfied, the specifications will be analyzed, then we have to create a sample for that, and that sample will be verified or checked instead of the complete implementation will be done, because the small part will be acting as a sample, we can say. That is the blueprint will be verified earlier in comparison of constructing a new new system. So the basic reason for this is user involvement. Why so? Because if there is any query or there is any doubt or we user want to modify anything, then that will done before implementation, and that will be easy for the analyst to modify that particular system according to the client requirement. But the only drawback over here is the actual time taking concept and the increased analysis done by the analyst, because analyst has to take care at every stage of a life cycle, whether this is feasibility, whether this is analysis, or whether this is implementation as well as testing. So at each phase analyst has to take care of the process will be done in a proper manner or a not, or we got a desired output from this particular module or a not. So the actual problem over here is the analyst overhead. And for the task that analysts have to do, uh, he must be have that enough knowledge for that particular system. So this is all about the tools, their criteria, and how they will be created, and what are the pros and cons of the structured analysis. This is all about structured analysis. Now the new part over here is feasibility study. In the analysis phase, which is conducted to find out the best candidate system out of the all alternative system, it is a determination of whether a project is worth doing or not, because this is not a mandatory task to create a new system, whether that will be fruitful or not. So we have to evaluate whether the particular system is best among all or not, because there are so many other alternative options available, but we have to evaluate the best output of from the among of them. So the process is followed in making the determination of the best one is done with the help of feasibility study. It is carried out to select the best system that need performance requirement. Whatever be the client requirement will deal with the best result, and that best result will act as a best outcome. There are many feasibility study focused on the both user as well as analyst point of view, because user as well as analyst have to focus over what they actually requires, what are the specifications user will want from that system, and what will be provided by the analyst. So both the communication done with the help of this criteria. Firstly, we have to prepare a feasibility document at the time of analyst is on the position to evaluate the solution. That means whether the task will be fruitful for us or not will be checked over the feasibility study analysis. After some constraints and assumed attitudes will be focused, because this is not possible to create 100% result from the new system. So there are some constraints in all the systems, so we have to focus on that constraints as well. By ignoring these constraints, if the rest one part will be acting as a fruitful one, then the system will be assumed that it is feasible, else it is not feasible. So the most successful system project is not mandatory that it become the more visible, but truly need user expectation. We have to focus on the user expectation. We don't have to worry about actuality that the this particular system is the biggest one or not. Here I am taking one simplest example over here. In a market, let us suppose there are 5 shops of a snacks, right? And I want to open a new shop for a snacks. नाउ इफ आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट कि एक बड़ी सी कोई शॉप ओपन करते हैं जो अट्रैक्ट करेगी, तो बड़ी शॉप ओपन करने से फार बेटर है जो यूजर को चाहिए, लेट अस सपोज वहां पर मैगी की कोई भी स्टॉल नहीं है, तो वी विल ऐड ऑन द स्टॉल ऑफ अ मैगी, राइट? मतलब कोई ऐसी चीज की स्टॉल ऐड ऑन करो जो यूजर की एक्सपेक्टेशंस को सेटिस्फाई करे. अगर यूजर की एक्सपेक्टेशन सेटिस्फाई हो रही है, देन इट विल एक्ट एज अ you feasible one, else will not feasible one, because this will be done with the help of completely the project feasibility test. And here we will think on the task will be not a huge one, whether the shop will be small. मतलब मैं अगर एक छोटी सी स्टॉल भी ओपन करती हूँ वो भी चलेगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझे एक बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स ओपन करना है उसके बाद में उसमें कोई भी मार्केटिंग करती हूँ तो ही वो एक अट्रैक्टिव वन बनेगी. अगर वो मैंने एक छोटा कॉम्प्लेक्स ओपन किया बट वहां पर जो चीज चाहिए थी वो अवेलेबल ही नहीं है, तो उस कॉम्प्लेक्स में कोई आएगा ही नहीं. जब कस्टमर ही नहीं आएगा तो उस चीज का कोई फायदा ही नहीं क्रिएशन का. सो वी हैव टू डू the task that deals with user expectation in comparison of the attractive one. Firstly, focus on the expectation what user actually needs, and then we'll focus on the appearance of the system that you want to create. So, when conducting feasibility study, an analyst can consider 7 types of a feasibility study. First one is technical feasibility. It is concerned with the specifying the equipments and the computer system that will satisfy and support the proposed user requirement. We have to consider the configuration of the system, which tell the analyst how much workstation are required and how the units are interconnected. That means एक एग्जांपल के थ्रू ही समझाते हैं इसे. एक मार्केट में 5 shops open थी. As I already discussed this example, so I am taking forward over here. अब मैं न्यू शॉप ओपन करना चाहती हूँ. न्यू शॉप ओपन करने के लिए मुझे क्या क्या चीजों की रिक्वायरमेंट पड़ेगी, कैसा सिटिंग प्लान देना है, कितने पर्सन एटलीस्ट सिंगल टाइम पे बैठ सके, और क्या क्या चीजें मेरी मुझे रिक्वायर्ड है मेरे बिजनेस को स्टार्ट करने के लिए. so these all are the equipments we have to focus earlier instead of the after the implementation. So that is called a technical feasibility. वो सिस्टम्स कैसे लाए जाएंगे, कितने लाए जाएंगे, कैसे उन सभी को कोरिलेट करेंगे, all these are done with in the technical feasibility. So um, in concern with the system, what are the equipments we required, what are the computers we are required, how we connect all these resources with the particular system. So this is the point we have to focus over the technical feasibility. Next is the operational feasibility. कोई भी टास्क अगर आपने परफॉर्म करना है, उस टास्क को परफॉर्म करने के लिए उसमें काम करने की स्किल्स होनी बहुत जरूरी है. कोई भी ऑपरेशन को परफॉर्म करना है तो वो ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कैसे किया जाएगा, वी हैव टू फोकस ओवर हियर. अगर मैं एक शॉप ओपन करना चाहती हूँ, मुझे काम करना नहीं आता, मुझे वो डिश बनानी ही नहीं आती जो मैं अपनी शॉप पे सेल आउट करना चाहती हूँ, तो उस चीज के लिए मुझे किसी ना किसी को रखना पड़ेगा, हायर करना पड़ेगा जो वो चीज बना सके. जब मैं उसे हायर करूंगी वो एटलीस्ट इतना बना सके कि बाकी सबको compete कर सके. हम अगर हम एग्जिस्टिंग वन बना रहे हैं, बेटर इज कि हम कुछ नया बनाए, बट अगर एग्जिस्टिंग वन बना रहे हैं तो अपने कंपेटिटर से बेस्ट होना चाहिए. तो वी हैव टू फोकस ओवर द स्किल ऑफ द मेंबर दैट हु इज वर्किंग इन द सिस्टम. That means existing staff members have any experience or a skills that user actually requires. This will be done with the help of operational feasibility. Next is the economic feasibility. Economic feasibility completely deals with the cost and the benefit analysis. अगर मैंने अपने बिजनेस में 20,000 रुपीज लगाए हैं एंड रिवर्ट में मुझे 20,000 ही मिल रहा है, वेदर दिस इज बेनिफिट और अ लॉस, it's nothing, it's not a benefit, not a loss. So neutral case is this, because ना ही तो मुझे कोई फायदा हुआ है ना ही मुझे कोई लॉस हुआ है. बट अगर मैंने 20,000 देने के बाद मुझे 10,000 ही रिवर्ट आ रहा है, दैट इज अ लॉस केस. एंड इफ 20,000 देने के बाद मुझे 40 रिवर्ट मिल रहे हैं, देन इट इज अ बेनिफिट. तो कोई भी पर्सन अगर अपना काम स्टार्ट करता है तो वो इतना एज्यूम करके चलता है दैट इनिशियली बेशक नो प्रॉफिट नो लॉस सिनेरियो चले, बट आफ्टर सम ड्यूरेशन definitely they want some profit from that is benefit from that. So expenses उतने बढ़ाएं और उतना करें कि आपको रिवर्ट में कुछ ना कुछ बेनिफिट मिले. For that saving will be done. For that we have to compare the cost as well. अब मैं ऐसा तो नहीं कर सकती मेरी खुद की कॉस्ट ही उसकी 10 रुपीज की पड़ रही है, मैं आगे आने वाले कस्टमर को वो 5 रुपीज में दे दूं. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर मी, राइट, बिकॉज इट्स completely loss scenario for me then. So we have to do some criteria or set some criteria कि ना ही तो मुझे लॉस हो और अगर ना ही कस्टमर को कोई ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हो. सो आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ द communication between user, that is customer, as well as my staff. So this is the economic feasibility. That means the most frequent used technique for evaluating the proposed system is cost benefit analysis. It is used to determine the benefit and saving that are expected from the proposed system and compare them with the cost, because we have to compare to find out the benefit actually we have done. Next is a social feasibility. Social feasibility completely determining the whether proposed system will be acceptable or not. It is also done before implementation. Let us suppose मैं शॉप ओपन करना चाहती हूँ, मैंने जैसे बोला. अब मैं उस शॉप को ओपन करने के बाद ये चीज चेक करूँ कि यार यूजर की रिक्वायरमेंट तो कोई और थी, कस्टमर तो यहाँ पे ये वाले आते ही नहीं. तो उससे ज्यादा अच्छा ये है कि मैं एक छोटी सी स्टॉल लगाकर 1-2 दिन का सैंपल लूं कि कस्टमर आते भी हैं या नहीं आते, वो ये चीज चाह भी रहे हैं या नहीं चाह रहे. तो this is the we can say a blueprint will be created so that we have to evaluate whether the actual requirement of a user is this one or not. कहीं मैं वो चीज क्रिएट कर दूं उसके बाद कस्टमर ही ना आए, मैं completely लॉस में जाऊं. So this will be done with the help of social feasibility. नेक्स्ट इज अ मैनेजमेंट फिजिबिलिटी. लेट अस सपोज मैंने कुछ क्रिएट किया, मैंने कुछ भी बनाया, अब मेरे ऊपर जो हायर अथॉरिटी हैं जिन्होंने यहाँ पर एम्प्लॉय मुझे एज ए एम्प्लॉय मुझे रखा, मैंने वहां पे काम किया, बट जब मैंने उन्हें वो चीज टेस्ट करवाई उन्हें वो टेस्ट पसंद नहीं आया, बिकॉज दिस विल वेरी अकॉर्डिंग टू कस्टमर्स, राइट. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि एक कस्टमर को वो चीज अच्छी लगेगी तो दूसरे को भी वही चीज अच्छी लगेगी. नो, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. एवरीवन हैज अ डिफरेंट टेस्ट. तो मैंने जब अपने मैनेजमेंट को खिलाया तो उन्होंने बोल दिया यार ये क्या बना दिया, बहुत गंदा है. ठीक है, तो अब उन्होंने वही के वही रिजेक्ट कर दिया. जब उन्होंने रिजेक्ट कर दिया तो वो आगे क्यों लेकर आएंगे कस्टमर के पास? ऑफ कोर्स ही बात है, वो आइटम ही रिजेक्ट कर दी जाएगी, राइट. सो दैट इज कंप्लीटली डिपेंड ऑन द मैनेजमेंट. एंड अगर वो चीज उन्हें अच्छी लगती है, इफ दे विल एक्सेप्ट दैट वन, वो फिर उसे आगे मेन्यू कार्ड में एड ऑन करवाएंगे. So it is the determination of whether the proposed system is acceptable to the management of the organization or not. If it is accepted, then system will do in a proper manner. And if it is rejected, then system will reject it over here. Next is a legal feasibility. It completely deals with the laws, we can say. मतलब वो एरिया लीगल है या नहीं है, आपने वो शॉप लीगली ओपन करवाई है या नहीं करवाई, या ऐसे इलीगल किसी से भी शॉप लेकर आप ओपन करके बैठ गए हो. So this is called a legal feasibility. It is a determination of whether the proposed system is under legal obligations of known acts or not. So this is the legal feasibility. Next is the time feasibility. This is the most important aspect about the feasibility, sorry, because it completely deals with the time bound. For example, मैं अपनी एक शॉप बनाना चाह रही थी, वही चीज किसी और के भी माइंड में आ गई कि यार ये बनाते हैं, यहाँ पे यूजर्स ना ये ज्यादा मांगते हैं. ठीक है, अब वही चीज मेरे क्रिएट करने से पहले ऑलरेडी किसी और ने क्रिएट कर दी, दैट विल ऑल्सो अफेक्ट ऑन माई बिजनेस, बिकॉज मेरा कंपिटिटर मुझसे पहले आकर खड़ा हो चुका है, और मोर ओवर मुझसे पहले आया है तो मुझसे ज्यादा भी उसकी चलेगी, है ना। अगर टेस्ट में बराबर होते हैं और मुझसे पहले वो आया हुआ है तो उसके कस्टमर्स ऑलरेडी बन चुके हैं, अभी मेरे स्टार्ट भी नहीं हुए कस्टमर। सो टाइम बाउंड होता है, एक पर्टिकुलर ड्यूरेशन में आपने वो काम करना ही करना है, दैट इज कॉल्ड अ टाइम बाउंड। इट इज अ डिटर्मिनेशन ऑफ वेदर द प्रोजेक्ट विल बी completed within specified time period or not. If it is rejected by the time duration, then it will be rejected when the time boundation will be more. बिकॉज एक और एग्जांपल से समझाती हूँ इस कॉन्सेप्ट को। फॉर एग्जांपल वो जो मार्केट है वो ओपन होती है 5 से लेकर 9 बजे तक, 5 to 9 दैट मार्केट विल बी ओपन, राइट। तो अगर मैंने वो 5 बजे जाकर अपनी स्टॉल लगाई तो नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर्स मेरे पास आने के चांसेस ज्यादा है। बट अगर वही मैं अपनी स्टॉल जाकर 8 बजे लगा रही हूँ तो मेरे पास बहुत रेयर केसेस है कि नंबर ऑफ कस्टमर्स आएंगे, और जो आएंगे वो एक्चुअल में मुझे उतना प्रॉफिट नहीं दे पाएंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि 1 घंटे में जितने कस्टमर्स आएंगे वो बहुत कम होंगे इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ जो 4 घंटे में आ रहे थे, राइट। और मोर ओवर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि उस ड्यूरेशन में 8 से 9 टाइम बहुत सारे कस्टमर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो अपने घर वापस चले जाते हैं। तो 5 to 8 वाला जो रेशो था वो रेशो तो मैंने अपना खत्म ही कर दिया, अपना टास्क खत्म ही कर दिया। तो मेरा वो पर्टिकुलर जो भी अमाउंट जो भी मैं बना कर आई वो तो सेल आउट ही नहीं हुआ। वाई सो? बिकॉज टाइम नहीं था मेरे पास इतना, तो टाइम बाउंड से मैं बाहर चली गई। अगर मैंने मेरे टाइम बाउंड से बाहर जाने की कोशिश करी तो वो डेफिनेटली रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा। Am I right? So this is about the time feasibility. The simple or a basic concept about the feasibility is that we have to take care of what actually user want, what actually we want, and what the process we will do with the help of analyst, because analyst is dealing at every phase, from feasibility study, from analysis, and from implementation as well as testing. So at each phase the analyst has to take care about all the scenarios that will covered in desired process or a not. That means desired outcome will be there or not will be done with the help of analyst. So this is all about feasibility study and their types. I hope this is clear to all of you. Thank you.